Bom dia, bem-vindo. How are you? Welcome. Nice to meet you, Rafael.
Thank you very much, Adriana, for having me in your channel to be able to speak with your followers. Again, my name is Rafael Menezes. I'm from PEI Brazil, located here in Moncton, New Brunswick. And for over 7 years, I have been an international recruiter for the Irving Group of Companies. It's the largest corporation in Atlantic Canada with over 50 divisions and over 20,000 employees in the United States in Canada. PI Brazil is something that I love to do. I was able with my team, Marcelo, thank you very much, to connect me with Adriana. We were able to help over 200 candidates so far, and over 1,000 people has reached the dream to live in here in Canada. And PI Brazil doesn't charge a dime from those candidates, Adriana. Everything is paid by the employer.
That's great. Thank you very much to you as well, to both of you for having me. And let's go with the questions. You already responded. One of the questions is, por favor, cuéntame sobre la historia de PEI Brasil, cómo comenzó y por qué. Tell me about the story of PEI Brasil, how did it start and why, and how does it work, the partnership with Irving Group?
So what the Irving Group does, when they cannot hire locally, they will let PI Brazil know what positions they are looking for, and we will connect those candidates with the Irving Group of companies. We're going to set up online interviews when we can set up in-person interviews. We went to Brazil we have been going to Brazil for over 7 years, and about 9 or 10 times we've been there. So we have two options. They can either do an interview in person on those events that we do in Brazil 2 or 3 times a year, or online as well.
Oh, that's okay. That's great. And are you planning to do any interview or any event in Argentina as well?
Yes, we are looking forward to it. We do not have a date yet, but we've been speaking a lot about it. We know Argentina has very, very good talent, and we would love to go there. The only thing is we need to see some talents, we need to see some candidates, and start having some good candidates from there so we can make plans. Right now, we are going to Brazil next week. We're going to be there on the 8th, 9th, and 10th of March in São Paulo, and we're going to do interviews in person there. And after, we're going to go back in May, and probably in the second week of May, and we're probably going to be back in October in Brazil. So October, we may talk about the possibility to go to Argentina or to any Latin country.
Okay. And what is the value of the services for the candidates? ¿Cuál es el valor de los servicios para los candidatos en el proceso de reclutamiento?
Yeah, so PI Brazil doesn't charge anything from the candidates. Everything is paid by the Irving Group of Companies. And Adriana, the Irving Group of Companies also offer, not for every position, but most of the positions, they would give free flight to the candidate and full support so they can achieve the dream to come here into Canada. They will give the candidate all the support they needed to them and to their family. So after giving the job offer, they will follow up all the process with them.
Okay, so the families are included in this immigration process if the candidate is chosen for the position.
Exactly. So when the candidate receives a job offer, they can apply for permanent work permit, and they can also apply for permanent for permanent residence as well. So it's not a temporary position; it's a position that the Irving Group wants after making lots of investment on the candidate, that they stay for many years.
So is this the process through the PMP or provincial nomination from PEI? So it's an LMIA exempt job offer?
Yes, so most of the offers would go to provincial nominee here in New Brunswick or Nova Scotia, or they can also do the Atlantic Immigration Program.
Okay, that's great. And well, I have a question about the family. You already responded that. And tell me about the stages of the recruitment process. ¿Cuáles son las etapas de selección de los candidatos?
So the first thing is when the Irving Group requests us to for any position, we will go to our social media that you can go to pibrazil.com and follow us on Instagram or YouTube. And then first of all, we go to our database. So if we don't find in our database, then we go to social media and we will give the people the positions that the Irving Group is looking for. So after that, people will go to pibrazil.com and request online or in-person interviews. Then Marcelo and his team will go through those resumes, send it to the Irving Group of company, and if they are selected, then they will set up a time and a day so they can meet.
And in what language are the interviews? Will you be able to interview people in English, Spanish, Portuguese?
That's a very good question. All the interviews are done in English and English only without the help of a translator, and they have to be able to communicate. So for whoever is not really familiar, they have to take a test, an English test they call IELTS or CELPIP, and in average, it's good to aim to grade 5, but if they do 4, some of the times they will be able to get by with a 4.
Okay, so it's really good, and it's very important for all the candidates to know that if you don't know English, at least at a minimum basic level, it's really hard to help you to get a work permit. So me as a consultant, I can tell you, and I can tell the candidates that if you have an interview and you go through the interview in English and you can show you're proficient in English and you can communicate well, then you can prove the employer that you can perform your activities or your duties in English. That's very important for the approval of the work permit. I repeat, in Spanish. So los candidatos deben saber que la entrevista es solamente en inglés y que deben tener un nivel mínimo de CLB 4 en inglés o 5 para poder comunicarse con el empleador, pasar la entrevista y luego poder tener una aprobación posible en el permiso de trabajo, demostrando que pueden comunicarse y realizar sus funciones laborales en inglés. And anything else you want to add? We know that people should be going to peibrazil.com, and then there is an option for application or submission of CV in the Canadian style with CLV, knock code, highlighting that is if the candidate is LMIA exempt or not. Sometimes they don't know that, so simply submit your resume in English through your website, and that will be considered if any position becomes available.
Exactly. The most important thing is to present as a resume without a gap and on a Canadian format. I'm sure, Adriana, you can give it to your followers, and they can also file it on the pibrazil.com website as well. They can download the sample and fill up the form there with the position that they want to apply. Of course, all the positions, you have to get at least 2 years of experience. Of course, they want the best and the bright, so they want people with a lot of experience and lots of skills. So they just have to go online and ask for an interview, and I will look at it.
I have one more question, una pregunta más. ¿Qué áreas profesionales serán entrevistadas? What are the professional areas to be interviewed?
So we are looking for industrial mechanics with at least 3 years of experience. If you have over 5 years, it's even better. And you have to, for all the positions that I'm going to say, you got to be able to communicate in English. And the best would be for you to have a CELPIP or IELTS, but you do not need the IELTS or CELPIP to participate on those interviews. So if you work on a factory environment as well, and you work as a production line where raw material going one line from one side and you got finished product in the other side, we want to speak with you as well. If you are a truck driver, I drove to Mendoza from Chile, and I know you guys from Argentina, you guys are great drivers. Like, we don't have any...
Yeah, able to drive in snow, mountain environment. So it's very important to know what you're doing when you're a truck driver in Canada, because we don't want accidents or hitting animals, right?
Yeah,
especially
that's for sure.
On the Atlantic.
So we are very impressed with the skills that Argentina truck drivers has. So if you are a truck driver with more than 2 years of experience, we want to speak with you as well. And we have 3 other positions. all mechanics. If you are a mechanic of trucks or trailers, we also want to speak with you. If you are a mechanic of forestry machine equipment, especially harvester or forwarder, we want to speak with you as well. Or heavy equipment. If you are a mechanic of a heavy equipment, also we need to speak with you. And we also have forwarder and harvester's position. So if you operate those machines, there is a big possibility that you're gonna get an interview. One thing, Adriana, that you said that was very important, they have to communicate in English, but you have time, because we have been going to Brazil for over 7 years now, and we're probably gonna go over for many years ahead. You know, Adriana, the problem here in Canada, it's not gonna end. We need more and more people every year that goes by, because the economy grows, and we really need people to come and work. So if you do not speak English well yet, there is time for you to study. If you have the experience, you have the biggest
take
asset.
an English,
Yes.
an English program, because especially truck drivers, they think they don't need English, but the problem is when you have to pass the license exam, if it's a theoric exam, you might be able to do it in Spanish, but then you have to go through the instruction, the road test, and the practicum, and that is in English. Somebody will guide you in English to do everything you need to do to get the full license. And then you have several steps on the process of licensing as a truck driver. So you need language. Voy a repetir en español. Necesitan truck drivers o camioneros que sepan hablar el idioma. Es importante para pasar exámenes de licencia en Canadá. Las licencias extranjeras no sirven para manejar camiones en Canadá. Tienen que tener un nivel de inglés. Hay tiempo, pueden prepararse en inglés para poder rendir exámenes de licencia. The employer is willing to help and support the process for the licensing for the candidates. Do you know this?
I was writing right now, so I couldn't forget. So the drive license, the Irving Group of Company will help you all the way after they give you a job offer. They will get you by the hand. They will get you at the airport. They will pay for your to fly here. They are going to take you to take a drive license, open a bank account, find a place to stay.
They pay for your driver license fees too?
Yes, and they help you to translate your drive license from your country to here. So they're gonna give you a day truck, or they're gonna pay school for you to learn and to get your drive license here. So Adriana, if someone wants to come here, Irving is very able to invest. They are very experienced of having newcomers, so they will do anything they can so those people feel comfortable and be successful here, because the last thing that they want is to invest in a candidate and the candidate will leave. So they were going to help them with the school for the kids, with everything that they need, so the wife and the husband will be comfortable here.
So let me repeat in Spanish the candidates, and then people will need to prove English proficiency. But las profesiones, voy a repetir las profesiones en español, son camioneros con inglés, mecánicos industriales, mecánicos de camiones, trabajadores de la cosecha que puedan manejar cosechadoras, so driving the harvester machines. Any other positions?
The mechanics for the forestry machine equipment and heavy equipment.
Ok, todo lo que es maquinaria pesada y saber manejar todo lo que son máquinas de agricultura. O sea que el área de agricultura está en mucha demanda. What are the highest demand occupations? The most urgent occupations needed by the group?
It varies by time to time. So today it's a new position. It's industrial mechanic. So if they are industrial mechanic with over 3 years of experience, we need as many as we can get. And IT, Adriana, we hire six people.
I know IT. I found so many positions in Job Bank for IT. Canada is full of positions. It's flooded with IT positions. So todos los que están en información, en tecnología, en área de informática, cybersecurity too, all kind of positions, IT managers are in demand. Todos los que saben inglés no necesitan para la entrevista probar un examen de inglés. pero sí para la aplicación al permiso de trabajo van a necesitar un examen. So you don't need to have an English exam to go through the interview with the employer after submitting the resume through your site. If you're a candidate and you are called by an interview or by an employer, you won't have to prove your CLB level of English, but for the work permit application, you will need to have an exam. So we have time from now to the process, to the moment where you're interviewed by the employers to take an English program if you need, or refresh your language skills. But thank you very much, Rafael. Anything else you want to add?
No, again, thank you very much for having me, and I hope we're going to help to change the life of a few of your followers. And you're welcome to our channel at any time. Thank you.
You too. So everyone is welcome to follow PEI Brazil. Go to peibrazil.com and apply, send your resumes in English, and we will help you to find a job opportunity here in Canada.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.